Hello viewers, here is a Holmes Too Cool or Too Stinks VN. This is a dual blade VN and the model number is the Holmes Group HAOF 612 electric VN. Made in China. Oh, great. 0.8 amps. And this is from 2004. 0.8 amps is quite a bit of power for a fan like this, especially in 2004. I mean, even back in the 80s, they were only drawing 0.35. Anyways, there's been some discussion about this VN recently, and some questions as to how does it move the most air, which blade is most efficient. Does the second blade hinder the performance or increase the performance? My speculation is that it's going to perform the best with just the 5-wing blade, as I happen to think that blade is pretty decent. And I suspect the center blade does absolutely nothing but restrict airflow. So we're going to try it in all three configurations. We'll see how forceful the air output is right in front of the VN. We'll see how far it carries. And we'll also see how the motor's performing. And we'll take a look at the measurements from the kilowatts meter to do so. So we're testing at 121.9 the volts. We'll go over to the amps because that's what the unit is rated on or in. And we'll start it up on the high with both blades. Now it's horrifically out of balance, that's the first note. And power draw is 0.57 amps, 64.2 the watts, and a power factor of 0.92. So the airflow right up in front of it is actually not quite as bad as I remember. It's a very smooth airflow, very constant, not super strong. I would say in relation to like a translucent blade oscillator, Lasco Galaxy, this is probably somewhere in between the low and the medium. It's really not moving that much air at all. Moving back from the VN, it's not carrying too far. It's definitely diminishing in strength pretty quickly. There's air moving here, but it's not much. So it's really not performing that well. Okay, we'll just go down to the medium. Hardly any difference. It's drawing a lot less power though, 0.42 amps, 51 the watts, and a power factor of 0.99. So that tells me that the motor is way overpowered for these blade sets. And the low, which also doesn't have much difference, is the 0.35 amps. The 43 watts and a power factor of the 0.99, and I don't think there's really a big difference in the performance. No, there really isn't. It's just more noise, and the balance is just awful. I'm not sure which blade is causing that. Okay, so now let's see here. I think we have to undo a bolt. Yeah, we gotta loosen that. Yeah, oh, it's a screw. We gotta loosen the screw to open the guard up. And we'll try just a small blade first, because I think that's going to be the problem. The small blade to me looks like the same kind of blades that they used on most of their like 6 or 8 inch fans of the era, and a lot of those I didn't think were really aerodynamically correct. They seem to just make a lot of noise more so than anything else. Let's see if I'm able to do this. Oops. May not be able to connect only the one blade, because it kind of relies on. Well, actually, that's not. I think I'll be able to do it, I guess. Yeah, you know what? It should be okay. At worst, it'll just swing forward. It's not a big deal. Okay, so there it is with just the small blade. Start it up on high. Oh gosh. Okay, let me try it like this. There we go. Maybe. Okay. So there we go, it's running with just a small blade. And there's not much airflow at all. Although, interestingly enough, there is still some air. Not much at all, but there is still some air moving. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. 0.56 amps, 60.9 the watts, and the power factor of 0.89. The motor wind goes away on low. On low it's 0.32 amps, 38.7 the watts, and a power factor of 0.99. And on medium we have a power draw of 0.40 watts, 0.4 amps, 48.4 watts, and a power factor of 0.98. So the power draw is not all that different without the larger set of blades there, and the spin down time is terrible. There's something wrong with this fan. I wasn't quite able to figure out what it was the first time I serviced it. Bearings just, they're very stiff, and it's some kind of an alignment issue, I believe, but I wasn't able to really figure it out at the time. Okay, so now we'll try just a larger blade, which I think will yield the best performance. Yeah, this thing is so stiff it's ridiculous. I think part of the reason this doesn't work is because the guard in the back is so thick. So we could try it sometime without the rear guard. In fact, what we should also do is try it with one of these El Cheapo blades that I bought. You know, just out of curiosity, to try with a standard blade too. Alright, here we go. I may have to tilt it back again to start it up. Let's see. Yikes. I don't want to have it running like that. Let me see if I can alleviate that. I think I can figure something out. Okay, it's successfully been converted into the Holmes One Cool. Alright, let's see how this works. Oh wow. Huh. That's moving some air. Oh wow. It is in perfect balance. 100% in balance. Flawless balance. That's probably the most balanced plastic blade I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. Okay, power draw is 0.55 amps. The watts is 61.8 and the power factor is 0.93. Notice the motor sounds much better too. Actually sounds very healthy now. And wow, it's whipping out the air. I can't believe how good the balance is. That's unbelievable. The air is certainly carrying further than it was before. Much, much further. We still got a very strong, and you know what? It's a very wide breeze too. Got a very strong and very wide breeze. Look at all the air that's moving. That's strong. Very impressive. There was a pedestal fan that Holmes made which had the same blade as this. It was a 16-inch model. And I found that pedestal fan moved pretty good air too. So I think this is a pretty aerodynamic blade set. This, I would say, is starting to compete with the medium of the Glasgow Galaxy fans. This is definitely moving much more air. There's still not a good range in the speed, so the motor is still very much underloaded. This is 0.4 amps, 48.2 the watts with a power factor of 1, or 0.99 now. And the low, 0.33 the amps, 40.7 the watts, and a power factor of 0.99. So this is by far the best way it performs with just this blade. That's baffling to me. Why wouldn't they just sell it like this rather than put a second blade on there, make a total gimmick of a product that doesn't even work that good, and sell a gimmick? Unbelievable. Wow. So if you just take the small blade off, this is a great fan. And the balance, I can't believe that. The balance is flawless. And the spin down time is not correct, I know that. I can't believe how good the balance is on this blade. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. I can't believe that other blade is that out of balance. I thought for sure it was going to be this blade that had the balance issue. But no, it's that stupid small blade. Huh. Very, very interesting. Well, now let's try Now let's try the generic blade, which is more of a standard shape and size. Pretty much the same size. Let's see how this does. What did this just break? I don't understand what just happened with this. It must have broke because it doesn't thread on anymore. So we'll have to re-tap it or something, I don't know. Anyways, let's check it with this blade and then we'll be done with this video. This VN is always a freak show no matter what. And it was a freak show during the servicing, and it seems to be a freak show now that the cap has broke. Okay, here we go. High speed. Okay, that's 0.56 amps. 61 watts and a power factor of 0.9. And it's pretty strong. Where's the airflow tester? Here it is. I think it may actually be a little bit stronger than those 5 blades. Let's see how the air travels back here. I think the air may travel a little better from the 5 blades. Not so, actually maybe significantly. Yeah, I think the 5 blades is a little bit better even. Travels a little further. I also think these blades are pretty cheap and they're probably caving as it rotates. The medium, which is the 0.4 amps, 48 watts and a power factor of 0.99, and the low, which is 0.36, 0.33, 0.34, 0.33 amps, 41 watts and a power factor of 0.99, but there's still not a lot of difference in the speeds. Especially between medium and high. Yeah, I think the 5 blades is a little bit better. Still only drawing 0.55 amps at full speed, whereas it's rated for 0.8, so I tend to believe that this motor is still not coming under full allowed load with any of these blades. So maybe what we should do is we should do a blade swap with some of those bigger, like the 18 inches blades and so forth, and see how it performs under those. Anyway, so that's it for this one. I think the very clear and obvious consensus is that the small blade stinks and the large blade is pretty good, and that this is now broken and it's cross-threading on. I don't understand this. Why did this just break? We're pretty much re-tapping new threads here, but whatever. Stupid piece of junk. Whatever, it's so not correct. It's all crooked. This fan is just ridiculous. The stupid small blade stinks, and the cap stinks. The airflow stinks. It just stinks. You should have been only having the larger 5-wing blade set, because the small one is an absolute gimmick and it stinks.